watching Thrifty Kaniffy. Hello everyone and welcome to Thrifty Kaniffy. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at a traveling knife sent to me by Jess Millican, or Jessie Millican. And this has kind of made the rounds amongst other content creators. Jess wanted Big Red EDC, Knife Delights, Thrifty Kaniffy, J.O. Ventures, and Randy WSG to have a look at this before it heads back home. So I guess it's my turn now, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So what we've got here is a Camillus brand knife. It's a Stockman, 3 blades. You can see there from the top. And this is from the Camillus DeLuxe line of knives that they put out. And I've dated this to between 1968 to 1975, somewhere in that 15-year range. Now, this particular knife was produced longer than that, so I imagine that there was an earlier tank stamp than the one you see here. But this one dates it from 60 to 75, somewhere in that range. The reason you know that is because there's an underline underneath Camillus all the way the length of Camillus. There's another tank stamp that has a shorter underline that doesn't go the length of the word there, and that would make that a little bit older. But because of that, we know this is probably from about 1960 to 1975. Now you've got carbon steel blades on this, nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver pins, nickel silver shield. You even have nickel silver liners. And the deluxe line of knives from this period has some file work, as you can see. If I open up these blades, you can see the file work on the top. You can see along the liners there. And they're calling that hand milled. So they are actually doing that by hand. Little stripes along the edges of the liners there. And then if you look at the back, they do it again on the center liner. So some nice little fancy features on this, and it's unusual to have, you know, nickel silver liners on a knife. That usually in this, you know, date range you'd have some brass liners. So really cool to have that extra feature. But you have the handle material being called a couple of different things, and the knife itself called a couple of different things based on what catalog you're looking in. The older catalogs referred to the handle materials brown stag, and then the more recent catalogs from the 70s referred to the handle material as Cabone, spelled C-A-B-O-N-E. Both seem to be like proprietary names for just some jig style synthetic material. And you can tell this is like a dark brown. Might be a little hard to tell on the camera, but yeah, it is indeed a dark brown. It is not black. And you can see the color is matched really well. Very well constructed. And I do like those extra little flourishes there to the liners that they've added, which is kind of neat. A little addition to their deluxe line. But yeah, just a really cool Stockman. Now, a couple of things about the naming of the knife. Initially, they call it the Baby Premium Stock Knife, and then also called it, or excuse me, the Deluxe Baby Premium Stock Knife, pattern number 82. And then also later on was called the Deluxe Pony Stock Knife. So they had a couple of different names that they used in the marketing materials. But you can see that this is indeed the number 82 pattern by the number on the back there. So that's referenced in the catalogs as being the number 82. But yeah, I would just call this a little small stockman or junior stock knife. And, you know, got some extra little higher end features to it than just your standard line would have. So really neat. Let's take a look at the blades in a little more detail here. We've got about a 2 1/8 inch blade with about a 2-inch cutting length, just shy of that, maybe about 1 7/8. No half stops or anything, just nice little snap on the blades. Very much reminds me of some of the more recent old-timer knives. Just the size of it and the kind of the snappiness of the blades. But really well done knife by Camillus. They made some pretty good stockmen back in the day. And there's a look at your spey blade. So the spey blade is slightly over 1.5. We'll call that 1 5/8. You got a cutting edge just a little over 1 3/4 inches. Not interesting, kind of stubby little spade blade. I don't know how much material's been taken off of this over the years, but it looks very similar to the photo that I'll show. So yeah, that appears to be not a whole lot of material removed from the spade blade. And then our final blade is this little pin blade. I guess you're missing out on the sheep's foot on this one. Got the pin instead. There's that. No tang stamps or anything on those secondary blades. But you get the total length here of just over 1.5. So we'll again call that 1 5/8. And the cutting edge again about 1 3/4. Pretty close. Got good sharp edges on this guy. Somebody's done a good job of keeping it nice and sharp. But yeah, that's a great little Stockman. I would, if that was mine, I would probably carry that in a little small Rough Rider slip. Fits in there really nicely. And just a really good carry. This is definitely a type of fifth pocket knife that I carry during the winter months. And generally without a slip, if that's the case, and just put it in my fifth pocket. And that's really nice and handy throughout the day. But just a really cool knife from Jess. He said it was one of his favorite knives, and I can see why. It's really excellent little fifth pocket carry. Again, it's the Camillus 82 pattern, deluxe pony stock knife. 3 inches in closed length with the spey, the clip, and the pin blades. So, awesome little fifth pocket carry, and one that Jess can really be proud of. That is really well constructed. There we go. So, beautiful little knife. So, thank you, Jess, for sending that along. I very much enjoyed reviewing it. And one other little feature that I wanted to point out before we go is if you look at the drawing there, would have had a blade etch here that said Camillus and then Deluxe. So we no longer have that, but that's kind of nice to see a photo of it to kind of give you an idea of what it would have looked like. But there you go, the Camillus Deluxe baby premium stock knife. I hope you enjoyed the review, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. We'll see you next time. Take care.